Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. Yes, another episode of the best Texas metal coming at you right now. And it brings me great pleasure to welcome a band that I go way, way back with, a band that I've always had a lot of respect and admiration for. Brings me great pleasure to welcome, yes, vets from our scene who are still just as fresh as ever. Brings me great pleasure to welcome Raul and Mark of the band Memories in Broken Glass. Welcome, gentlemen.
What's going on?
What's going on, Say-Town?
Yeah. Great to have you guys here, man.
Oh, yeah, it's glad to be back, dude. It's been way too long.
Way too long. I remember when I got Raul's message, I was like, holy shit, Memories in Broken Glass is back.
They're alive?
Wow, yeah. Because it had been since 2013 that we interviewed for Recode.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Been a good chunk of time.
Good little time there. And I remember, there's obviously, how many years ago? 12 years ago now? Is that 12 years ago?
I can't do math.
Yeah. That's about 12 years ago. I remember I was a huge fan of Recode. And then later on, I heard about you guys doing the Barriers EP as well. And then I think after that, I just kind of got disconnected. So I really had never heard about the 2019 release, Infinite Enigma. But thank you for my copy that you brought me tonight, because I'm definitely going to dive into it.
I sweated immensely to dig up that copy. But yeah, it's you know what's a crazy thing? Just looking at the case, we actually got Dark Tranquillity's guitar player to do the artwork for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And it opens. It's like a 5-panel album. So once you open the plastic,
wow,
it's a whole display.
I'm one of those guys. I'm old school, so I always like things in my hand. I like tangible things. And we're going to talk about this later, but, one of the things I think that adds a great dimension to what you guys do in the public is that you guys are so good with art and providing some type of visual that couples along with the music. And I think that savvy artists do that. I remember many years ago, I interviewed Matt Heafy from Trivium in support of the In Waves record. And I remember asking him about the cover work and stuff. And he was like, yeah, Rob, there was a whole concept that went into this record. And it wasn't just about the music, but this time we also thought about the whole cover art, the videos relate to the cover art. There was a plan. And it kind of seems like I like that you guys kind of pay attention to the visual too.
That is definitely something that we pay attention to,
Yeah.
especially like people will notice with the two recent singles, Perfect Blue and Liquid Bones, there's kind of like a similar visual motif. And for the next two singles we have going on, we have that same thing going on. I'm actually the one who's been doing the graphic design for the albums and social media, visualizers, all that sort of thing. And it's goes really in line with lyrics, especially like you have the vocalist kind of trying to put all these little like Easter egg things in that like really drive home the meaning of all that stuff.
Nice. We're going to get there, Raul. We're going to get there.
Sorry. Spoilers.
I kind of want to jump back a little bit. I think it's pertinent to jump back a little bit and catch people up. Okay? You guys have lots of fans and people who follow you. So Infinite Enigma came out in May of 2019. I know that you guys, that was a full-length record.
Yeah, it was our first one.
Full-length record, yeah.
It was
where
our
you
very
guys
first one.
had done Recode was 6 songs, Barrier was 3 songs, and then wow, you coming out with this whole full-length record, which obviously entailed a lot more work. I know that you guys did some touring, and then how are you feeling about the band at that time?
At that time, it was a crazy thing because we had battled in a couple of those Sumerian record contests. Like the very first one was like the Battle for the Sphinx. So us and other Texas natives, Drop Dead Gorgeous, great dudes, John Michael and the gang, they were really solid. We were the Texas picks out of nationwide. So I believe there was only about 9 bands in total. 2 bands were from Texas, and we got to compete at the Whiskey A Go Go for a record deal.
Wow.
And,
I remember that, bro.
That was
Believe
crazy.
it or not, I remember that.
It was shortly after because we were following the record stuff. So we did that. Well, we obviously did not sign with Sumerian Records,
right.
But it was a weird thing because actually no one won that night. Like there was 3 bands that got kind of tied, and they did demo development deals, and none of them ever saw the light.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
I'm looking at you, Ash.
That's bullshit. But anyway, that's neither here or there. And what happens in LA, you know.
But it was a cool experience. Like we got to see Lamb of God's lawyer. Like he got Randy Blythe off that case from Russia. Like he was part of the panel. Like it was an insane, still would do it moment and point in time for sure. Yeah, it was great. And then the next year we battled for a slot in what was the tour? It wasn't Taste of Chaos. It was.
Summer Slaughter.
It wasn't Summer Slaughter. It was another one, but it was in the vein. And we didn't win that one either, but it was a weird time for the band because we didn't have Michael Joyner. You remember Mike? So we actually we were in transition. It was after Mike. We had a new guy, and it was kind of a fill-in on a recommendation from a rep from Sumerian. I don't want to drop names, but it was Sumerian rep's recommendation. And it just didn't go as planned. So we took our licks, we came back and just did what we do best.
Yeah.
And just make music and jam.
How soon after that, obviously, okay, that was in 2019. A lot of these things were happening. And then 2020, the pandemic hit for everybody. And obviously that changed everybody's world. How soon after that did you guys say, hey, we need to, or did you guys just, we need to take a hiatus? Was the hiatus something that you guys consciously said we need to do a hiatus, or it just kind of phased into that?
It was definitely a mixed bag, because during all that, it was after the Enigma Infinite cycle,
right,
and we were freshly signed to Hammerforge Records. That was the label we were signed to at the time, and
so what came out on Hammerforge? Barriers?
Enigma Infinite.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Actually, so we got picked up from Barriers. The Barriers EP, those 3 songs.
Right.
We gained the faith to.
And then they said, "Shoot us some new shit."
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, we back you. Let's do this. We had, honestly, for today's standards, we had a great deal. It was a great deal.
Right.
We took it. It was low risk enough for both parties.
Sure.
So we went out and did it. We toured as much as we could. And then after that cycle, we were having some issues internally. We had split from Saul, who was the vocalist on Barriers and Enigma Infinite.
Right.
And but we didn't really announce it. Everything was kind of happening so fast. And so once we parted ways, then COVID immediately happened.
Right.
Like right after. So it kind of.
So you were already in limbo, then COVID happened.
Yeah. So it was just like, hey, well, we get a legitimate break. That's fine.
Right.
So we did the legitimate break, and
started having families.
Yeah. I mean,
make
after
babies.
After like.
Well, what else are you gonna do during the pandemic? Just bang and smoke weed.
Well, you stuck inside, as things
Play
happen.
video games.
But yeah, so it was like
Oh, man.
after like a solid what would you say, Rara? 8 years at that point that we were running and gunning.
more than that. It was probably about 12 at that point.
So we were like, you know what? It's time to do other things besides
Right,
the band.
right.
So we had our families more or less all at the same time. Like pretty much all of us consecutively had kids like at that time, and then I was going stir crazy. I joined my buddy in the Ansibles, or not the Ansibles, but the Ansible, and we're still a group also, but we're keeping it quiet as well. And you know what? During that time, because the Ansible plays in 8 strings, I had a ton of material, and I was like, you know what? Why is Memories so stagnant? You know, and we kind of picked it back.
So that you actually kind of led right into my next question about the reunion, if you want to even call it that. Maybe not the reunion, but just coming out of hibernation, right? So when you were like, okay, it's time to continue to build upon already a foundation that we have with Memories, and I think you made the right decision. Some guys will just say, hey, let's just start something new. But, you guys did a lot. I feel like you guys did a lot of successful things. You had 2 EPs under your belt. I mean, why let all that work just go by the wayside, and continue to build upon that? So how, when you said, okay, let's come out of hibernation, how did you decide to get back with Raul? Or Raul, how did you get back with the band?
Do you want to start that and it can lead into me?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I had a ton of demos, essentially. I was just like, yeah, well, something will happen at some point.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, I was like, you know what? I would love an offering of music that had all our vocalists on it. So we had, because we never had Michael Joyner or Mikey like on a track.
Right.
Because he came in the band immediately after Recode.
Do you recall who was the vocalist that came when you interviewed here?
Michael, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Joyner, yeah. Mike.
I remember he was the thin, blonde-headed guy, right?
Red hair.
Yeah. I
The
remember
redhead.
him. He was sitting right there.
He's still doing the thing too. He's still singing.
Really?
In Austin.
Really?
Yeah. In
Wow.
Rain.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? That'd be cool. I can get our first vocalist Aaron from Aeons on a track. I can get Raul back. I'll get Mikey on a track for once. I'll get Saul on a track. I mean, we've had a line of singers, so it was like, hey, you know what? I think that'd be cool. And so Raul was the first to do his offering for.
Raul said, "Fuck those dudes. Let me sing them all."
I mean, in so many words. No.
Come on, Raul. You can say the truth here. You're on Rob's MetalWorks.
Rara crushed it so hard that
That's what I'm saying.
Then it was just like,
You're
well,
like-
you know what? Like, we had a kind of discussion. It was like, things are different now. What you think? And
I can go in there.
Yeah, Raul. So let me ask you, Raul, real quick, and you can implement this into your response. While you were gone from Memories, were you doing anything musically?
No, I actually wasn't doing anything. It was one of those things where we had just done one tour and we were playing a lot of shows. During the process of Recode, we had in the studio with Recode, we had our original vocalist Aaron, and things just weren't working out right. So we creative differences parted ways, and I played keyboards on the album, but I had been doing backing vocals, and me and the producer just sort of looked at each other and we're like, we don't know what to do. We have studio time. We had the whole weekend, and I was like, well, I kind of had some ideas because I had kind of written out the structure of some of the songs like Titan and Neo Earth. So it was like, I kind of have ideas for vocals, and we knocked out Titan in I think a day and brought it back to the guys in San Antonio because we were recording in Corpus, and it was like, yeah, this is an awesome new direction.
I will say I can vividly remember that day. We got a call from their producer, and he was just like, I don't know, but I'm gonna send you what we got today. What do you think? And it was the very first draft of Titan with Rah Rah on it, and it was like, okay, cool, we'll keep going.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but then after that, it was like obviously feeling on top of the world. Like I had been in the background as the keyboardist, even though me and Mark started the band in high school, but had always been the keyboardist. And just for some reason, I guess had an identity crisis. What am I gonna do to make money? I was literally like making nothing at Hot Topic, and pennies.
But you had access
Pennies.
to some cool pops.
I had access to some
To
cool
all the
pops.
cool pops.
all the exclusive
oh,
pops.
this motherfucker's not going.
Oh yeah.
This is going to the back.
So I decided to take my leave after recording Recode, and probably a couple months later to go to college, kind of get all that stuff.
Like 2 shows and then called it.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm curious because I know that you weren't part of the 2013 interview. How much after was the interview before you left?
It was like pretty soon after. Like I definitely.
Like Raul leaves, and then you're on Rob's.
Yeah,
The new guy gets on Rob's.
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
the new guy, or Mikey, like I love him to death. We went to high school with him and whatnot, but
yeah.
he got on Rob's and he was in the music video for Neo Earth,
Yeah.
and there was a bunch of stuff that
got all
happened.
the
But
accolades.
it was punishment for leaving at that time, I suppose. But yeah, so during that meantime, it was going to school, working on my career as a graphic designer, freelancing, that sort of thing, and.
Thinking about the future, the greedy bitch.
Yes, I was thinking about the future. But I was always kind of in the periphery with MIBG.
Right.
Like I did the layout design, even though somebody else did the artwork. I did the
Right.
layout design, did a lot of merch designs, flyers. So I was always kind of in the design space.
Every logo and font has been Raul since inception.
Right.
Like
And
ever.
they're great, bro. Like this fucking logo's killer. I
And-
remember the Recode logo was killer. I mean,
You know, while
all
we're on the subject of this, I still say nothing more stole part of our logo. I'll just say it.
say
I'll
it.
say it. I
Say
think they
it.
did. I think they did.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, the NM.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were pre nothing more. I will, for the record.
Maybe.
Well, not as their inception, but yeah.
I will also say that we used the motionless in white font before motionless in white for our old hardcore logo as well.
Wow. Wow.
Desert Cowboys.
This is,
Our original one was Desert
this
Cowboys.
is
Yes.
Billy Milano Part 2.
Calling
Here
out
we
nothing
go.
more and
Here we
motionless in
go.
white. Here we go.
Yeah.
at us.
If you guys ever watch every time I release an interview, I always kind of write like a small summary. And at the beginning of the Billy Milano write-up, I said, the 2020s has become the era where all these ugly truths are coming out, where people are being transparent more than ever.
Oh,
you know? And,
It is the time.
it is the time.
so
Cat
John-
Williams started it all, right? Remember?
Oh yeah. Shannon.
Williams said it
Shannon. Shannon.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, be honest here, guys. And that's what I want. And I'm glad that we have the rapport and to have that type of conversation. And I'm sure the drinks haven't hindered that either.
If you talk to the Nothing More guys, bring it up. It'd be funny.
Man.
It'd be funny.
I interviewed Nothing More at the Aztec. I think it was in 22 or 21. And it's kind of weird. It was a weird thing. Their publicist shot me down for the interview.
Was it a Chris Blakey show?
I don't remember. The publicist shot me down. And then we still got the interview with Mark, the guitar player, because their sound guy, Chris Bauer, is a good friend of mine. And Chris Bauer said, Rob, I'll set it up for you. I'll talk to Mark for you. I said, okay. And he did. And then Mark was, even through the sound guy, was gracious enough to say, yeah, okay, we'll give him tickets. Come on in and let's do the interview behind.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he was gracious enough to do that.
And Mark
for
has a podcast too, right?
I don't think so. Oh, I think he has one where he talks about beer.
Beer, yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about beer and metal kind of stuff.
Yeah. Mark's a great guy. I
he's a
haven't
cool
spoken with Johnny in a long time, a very long time. And believe it or not, I think the last time I saw him, like he was right in front of me and we were talking. I worked at many years ago, like I think 2012. I worked at Rackspace. Remember Rackspace?
I do on 35.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
worked at Rackspace, and they would always have food trucks outside for lunch, for the employees could go out and have lunch at the food trucks. And I went out there to have lunch, and Johnny was there. And I said, "Hey, man, what are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, my girlfriend works here." I'm like, "Oh,
Hey,
all right.
Small world.
yeah, small world." So we chatted for a little bit, and of course, we didn't really talk about business or anything, but we were just chatting. But I think that was the last time I saw him, like face to face. Yeah, and look at that picture. See that picture right there? Mm-hmm. You see that picture right there?
I do.
Yeah, that was way before they were famous. I interviewed them a couple of times before they were famous. I mean, famous like they are now.
And Johnny was a drummer before too, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't even the singer.
He was the original drummer, and then became the singer.
Some good story.
Crazy, crazy. I remember one time I interviewed Mark and Johnny at this place here. It was called the Scout Bar here in San Antonio. Remember the Scout Bar used to be over there off 281.
I didn't even know we had a scout
Yeah,
bar.
it was a beautiful venue, beautiful. And we interviewed there, and that interview's on YouTube if you watch it. And I was twice the man I am today in that video. That's when I was 300 pounds. I was really big. And if you watch that interview, at the end of the interview, I tell them, you guys are going to be big. You're going to be famous. Just wait. The stars are going to align for you shortly. That was before they were famous, bro. And then they became so famous.
Huge. I mean,
I called it.
They got picked up on what, 11/7 records?
Yeah, and I remember I talked to in that interview. Watch it too. We even talk about record labels, and Johnny was like, "Oh, we're waiting for the right deal to come along." Blah 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 blah, and they were very meticulous and choosy about who they were going to sign with because they knew they were a good band, and
Well, Periphery did the same thing. I remember watching Periphery on Thrash and Burn pre them being signed, and they were just their merch table. They were passing out little cards with free downloads of their demos and stuff like that. And I think they got approached by one of the Roadrunners by then, and it's just like, dude, y'all are just like casually writing off Roadrunner. They're like, yeah, we're waiting for the deal. It's like,
waiting for the real deal.
I'm like, dude, that's sick.
Yeah. You got to be careful nowadays. But anyway, back to business. I asked you this downstairs. I've seen your press photos and stuff, but you were telling me that Memories is now a 5-piece band.
Yeah. It's been actually we haven't even announced the 5th. So this would kind of be the announcement. He's not a San Antonio native, but he does play in bands in town. His name's Jaime Vargas. Solid. He did us a favor because we needed another guitar player for the April show that we were in line to play, and he came through, and he is a great addition.
Does he live in San Antonio now? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool.
He actually just undergone surgery, so we won't be playing for at least a little while, but it's gonna be good when we come back.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And in addition to Jaime, like our newest member, we're also like myself, Mark, George, who's been our drummer through Recode, Barriers, and Enigma.
Okay.
And then we have a new member as well, Jimmy, on bass. He and Mark were the ones that kind of, at least to my knowledge, before I kind of re-entered the fold, kicked everything off. They would just meet up, start building out demos and songs. And we have like this huge catalog, pretty much thanks to them just building stuff out.
Nice.
And then we have people coming in and out. Our friend Mikey J doing the
Different Mikey J.
yeah, different Mikey J, not the old vocalist. But he did keyboards for Perfect Blue, so that ambient break we did, it's all him on the synthesizers.
Wow.
And then Justin, our guitarist from Recode, Barriers, and Enigma, writing some parts in Liquid Bones as well. So we
think
kind of
that's-
have people coming in and out.
I think that's so cool that throughout a lot of this transition that you've maintained good relationships with past members or non-active members.
We're a family. Like, first and foremost, like we came from Alice, Texas, so it's a little small town. Everyone knows everyone. Type B, I mean, 20,000 people, or probably less. And I mean, we came up to San Antonio as brothers, as a group,
Sure.
to do it. And I mean, what's a couple of decades got to do with anything, you know? Like,
And I think that's what's kind of made us want to keep the MIBG name alive, is because there's so much history, and
Sure.
not even just releases, but like our own memories to say that with each other, and laughing together, crying together, playing epic shows together.
Yeah.
And we just kind of wanted to keep that brotherhood going.
Nice. That's cool, man. Here's a tricky one. As these past few weeks, as I've gotten reacquainted with the band's music, and we're gonna talk about the new singles here in a bit, but even when I listen to the older stuff, you guys have always kind of had like your own unique kind of sound. I feel you have that dual vocal attack, the down-tuned guitars, really complex drumming, and then a lot of like these little musical interludes in your stuff, and it really kind of resonates into what Memories in Broken Glass is known for. However, what's challenging for me is like I'm thinking like, what are these dudes? Like, what genre do I put them in? What do I call it when I talk about them?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I mean, I think we have the same issue. We used to say progressive metal when we were younger, but I don't think we listen to bands like Between the Buried and Me, Dream Theater. So
Yeah.
we're not progressive, but
I think
we
you're a little
definitely
bit-
have metal. We have groove metal, new metal, hardcore.
I just call it metal, honestly. Like,
Did I hear? Have you ever heard of ambient metal? Did I see that somewhere?
I believe you called us ambient metal in the
Yeah.
first podcast.
ambient metal, and then, like vaporwave, kind of like. I mean, honestly, the interludes I think has been a huge part of our brand.
I like it. I like the interludes.
Because, like, I mean, I think honestly we probably are ADHD to an extent, but we're musicians first. So
Right.
it's just like, if it's not appealing to us, why would it appeal to anybody
For
else?
sure.
So we just do what we want to kind of do.
All right. I'll take that. So, call it whatever you want, people. Call it whatever you want. Call it just. Okay, I'm not sure if I got an answer there, but I think that's a beautiful response. Like
We're just
so unique.
MIBG.
Like, we don't even have a fucking genre we fill in. That's cool.
We're so unique, we're basic.
You need to come up with your name for your own fucking genre. Oh, it's gonna come to me tonight.
I'll be San Antonio core. I'm down.
It's
You heard
gonna
it
come.
first.
It's gonna come to me one night. I'm gonna fucking message Raul and tell him.
Please do.
Yeah.
We need something for our marketing. Our SEO
Exactly.
sucks.
for
Exactly.
the socials.
I'm gonna get up at 3 a.m. to take a piss, and it's gonna come to me. Anyway, all right. Let's get to the meat and potatoes now, because now that you guys have returned in 2025, I was really excited. Like, I was like, holy smokes. Like I said, when Raul messaged me, I was super stoked, because I'm like, oh no, these guys are back. Awesome. And there's new music, and Raul had sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, this is great. What was the initial reception from people or your fan base when they found out you were coming back?
I mean, it seemed to have been a positive response. I
Yeah.
know there's we've kind of given fans whiplash over the years, it seemed, because like we came out with Recode, which was obviously like very hardcore, thrashy, very heavy and
Yeah.
fast paced, technical. And then I depart the band, Saul comes in, and every member brings their own kind of influence. And then so he kind of obviously he's like an amazing singer, has like super high range.
Yeah, right,
so
right.
it just changed up the sound a little bit,
Right,
a little bit
right.
more rock feel. And then now after that era ends, now we're kind of going back to like Recode 2 kind of thing, like what would have happened had I stayed in the vocalist position. But yeah,
I think that was my favorite comment too. Like that I've heard thus far is that their new material is like what some people wished happened after Recode, or it was like their I guess the natural progression of it. So it's just like, hey, well, you know what, like. We're back. Like,
Yeah.
it's partially that and partially some fans who came in during the Saul era.
Yeah.
That it kind of makes it sound like a Misfits, the Danzig and the Graves era. But people who came in during the Saul
Right, Glenn?
era. There we go. Mother.
You know, Raul, I love your clean too, bro. Even though you don't go as high, I still love your clean, and I think it really goes well. It doesn't take me out of range either. So, I think I mean, the two new songs are just so fabulous. So let's just talk about them now. And all
Thank you
you
for the
people
comment.
out there in San Antonio and beyond, the two new singles released by Memories and Broken Glass this year are Perfect Blue, released in January, and Liquid Bones in April of this past year. I love Perfect Blue. I think that's my jam right there. I love
Thank
that
you.
song. I can listen to it over and over, and it takes me on that little journey. Great songs, and fans, you can get these songs right at all their music media outlets. You can watch the videos on YouTube. Were these songs songs from the bank, or were these kind of new kind of songs?
So you know what's funny? So Perfect Blue is actually, I would say 50% Jimmy, our newest member.
Really?
He came up with a lot of like staple-ish, like old MIBG kind of like logic when he came with some of these material riffs, and I mean, I helped with the chorus and some of the layering, and Michael J came up with a lot of the interlude layering as well. And I would say that was literally just fresh from the record, like-
So it would be safe to make the assumption that he was already familiar with the band.
Well, so actually, it's funny. So Jimmy was in our drummer George's first band. So they had tenure together already. So it was, at least for me initially, it was just like, well, you know what? Like, I want to jam. I don't, I've got a small child. I haven't been able to reconnect with a lot of people. I would love to just work with Jimmy. It feels easy, and it was, and it was fun.
Is he younger?
No, he's actually probably the oldest in the band. I think
wow.
he's older than George. So he's the oldest, and this is his first time back kind of writing in like at least 15 years.
Yeah. Wow.
So and he'd never played an 8-string either. So it was like I sold him my first 8-string. He came up with a couple pieces that resonated with him, and we tweaked it, and there's Perfect Blue.
Yeah. It's always cool because JB is the youngest guy in my crew, even though he's an old man now. And I cannot tell you, and JB, I'm going to give you props, man, because I cannot tell you how many times throughout the career of Rob's MetalWorks that JB has influenced the direction our program has gone. I remember, and I always liked JB because JB was younger than me, he's considerably younger than me, and he would always say, Rob, you got to jam this, man. Do you know about this band? Check this band out. And I'd be like, okay, cool. So JB initially musically was keeping me in tune with a lot of stuff, with bands. And then even on the technical side, I remember in 20, 2011, JB was like, Rob, we're done with public access TV. We got to go digital. We got to get on the internet. He goes, we got to update our cameras. He really helped us transition out of the old fucking way of recording and our equipment and our delivery into the digital era when all of that was happening. And he actually helped me a lot in directing us into going into that direction. And then, of course, I had to invest in new gear and everything. And so, yeah,
It's
man,
a tale as old as time.
It's always cool to have young cats around you because, we're so, as you get older, you realize, like, you stay loyal and accustomed to what you love,
Well, actually, on that point, I would say with Jimmy, in regards to that, like him being the oldest, it kind of, funnily enough, worked the same kind of magic where he kind of came in. Like, we obviously grew up in the same era, listening to the same types of bands, and then Jimmy kind of comes in with like riffs from Perfect Blue with his influences, kind of like Deftones, Tool, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's like, we've always had George who has similar influences on the drums, but never somebody on a guitar or somebody who had that kind of like writing prowess, I guess. So, or geared towards that type of writing. So
Right.
it was interesting to see like MIBG explore that kind of spectrum of metal with like, oh, okay, now we're exploring this kind of like more like 2000s sound, but like updating it a little bit and adding our own like with the synths and different sorts of cool stuff.
Raul, that leads into my next question, believe
I
it or
can
not.
read your mind.
I know, bro.
And you're filthy,
awesome.
Rob.
We're aliens, bro. We can speak within our minds.
Oh, yeah.
So my next question really was like, I've known about you guys for a long time, since 2013, and I hear your new stuff now, and obviously, there's been some maturity. So what would you say have been the musical progressions for the band? Where do you feel like, oh, we've gotten so much better in this aspect of who we are as not only musically, but as musicians?
I would say, at least for me, jumping from Recode to our new singles and then the other things we're producing, it was whenever we were in Recode, like obviously I had my own influences at the time, but it was somewhat having this shadow over me of like trying to write stuff that I feel like would resonate for that time. Like I'm happy that Recode kind of still holds up today. It doesn't sound aged, at least to me. I mean, that's subjective. But now it's more like coming at music from the sense of like exploration, playing around, not trying to like make everybody be like, oh, this is the coolest song ever. It's like, I think all of us kind of have a similar mindset of we're just writing music that we like. And if people like it, that's cool. And if not, then that's cool too. And it gives us the room to play around, add weird stuff. Like we've shown some of our tracks that have not been released yet to like friends to see what they think. And they're like, yeah, confidants. And they're like, it's cool. This weird like banjo synth part. We are going to be showing you some things afterwards.
Yeah.
Maybe giving you a little preview of the next single.
Send me some stuff.
But yeah, they always just kind of call out, oh, the song's cool, but this like weird synthy like techno thing kind of sounds weird. And it's like, but yeah, but that's what we do, and we feel like that's just what makes our sound us.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
And it's been crazy this time around too, because we've been blessed to work with great people. Like our longtime producer for everything on record for memory is Robert Beltran out of Corpus.
Robert Beltran from the RGV. It's been a long time since I've heard his name, and that was a question that was coming up. But so he kind of engineered and mixed everything.
Up until this point, actually, all from Perfect Blue and beyond, it's all been me. at the house.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I'm just getting at.
I picked up.
Sorry, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but
Yeah, bro. I'm a seasoned pro. I can do it myself. I mean,
I'm gonna hit you up with some
beautiful thing about it
questions.
is too is like, I hear so many musicians now are like DIY. So, and it's more cost effective. Of course, they have more control, and
the control is huge.
and the tech is there, right? The tech is there.
It's never been a better time. Like, you want to do audio, video? Hey, we got software.
These producer guys, you're going out of business, man.
And it is kind of a thing, like you're saying, it's cost effective. And
Yeah.
in some cases, it's kind of the same. It's just instead of paying for studio time, let's get equipment.
Right.
Let's spend the time to learn how to do it ourselves.
Right.
And we buy so much more time, and it just gives us more room to play.
Right. That's cool, man.
Yeah, because I mean, with the past records, we'd obviously play what we hear in our heads, but it's up to the man working everything to get the vision out. And nowadays, it's like we can literally have our vision out. Like we'll have sessions weekly to where we're like arguing about something no one would ever pay.
Notice.
No one would ever
You fucking
even
musician
think.
guys.
And it's just like, oh, well, you know what? But that's the beauty of it. We can have that kind of time now.
Yeah, we were literally talking about Perfect Blue, tweaking that to the point where we just had to call each other out and just be like, we just need to put it out. Like, nobody's gonna notice that this 30-second note on the hi-hat is not like, yeah. So it's fun.
Oh, you guys make me think about. There's this band I interviewed earlier this year. In fact, it was the first interview of this year. This band called A-Mob, and they have a song called like the Endless Pursuit of Musical Perfection or something like that. It was like musicians just like, there comes a point where like, yeah, bro, like just leave it alone. Let's step away from it,
Mm-hmm. No,
And-
1,000%,
exactly.
1,000. We've been listening to the same song
some
for
people who can't do
hours.
There's some people who can't do it. So you did the engineering and the mixing for these two new tracks.
Yes, sir.
They sound great, bro.
Thank you.
They sound great.
Thank you so much.
They sound great, and I listened to them on my stereo in here and on my Marshalls, and they sound great.
It's all in my little bedroom. I'll work on it and then I'll go right to sleep.
So as you've become older, more mature, seasoned, better at your instruments, has the process become simpler, or do you find it more challenging?
It definitely still is a mixed bag. Yeah, because we're seasoned enough to know, like, okay, this is what we need to do, and we execute it, and then we get caught up in that last 5% where like, but what does that mean? Does that hit? Does that have the emotion that we want? And then we can be in literal weeks about a couple of things. Like,
yeah, I think that's the perfect way of putting it. Is like back in the day it was more about the technical aspects. Like, are we playing? Does this verse flow into the next part? Does it keep the intensity? And like the songs were a little bit more narrower in range, even though they had their expansions. And now it's more like the philosophy of everything. Like, is the vibe coming through? Is the journey coming through? And yeah, it's just kind of a different aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're seeing everything as a whole as opposed to like individual parts put together.
It's good not to force it sometimes too. It has to work. It has to flow. But, and sometimes those things become seamless, and then sometimes they become challenging for whatever reason.
I feel like this is a good time to ask. So, like, Sleep Token's huge. Sleep Token's huge. They just released their new album today.
Oh, no.
What camp are you in?
Let me tell you something. I've never even heard Sleep Token.
What?
I think I've seen one of their videos or something. It's just not my thing. I mean, it just doesn't appeal to me. Don't tell me they're your favorite band.
They're not my favorite band, but I am pro Sleep Token, and I enjoy
and don't get me wrong. JB, do you like Sleep Token? No. Have you heard them?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know who they are.
That's why JB hasn't talked to me about Sleep Token because he doesn't like him.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know about Sleep Token.
I feel like it's very polarizing, but it's
Ghost
like-
version part 2.
it's like Ghost, heavy Tame Impala, kind of.
The only and speaking of Ghost, the only record I'm a fan of Ghost is the very first one.
Yes.
The very first one.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. Tobias Forge sold his soul to the devil. I know that. Don't ask me how I know.
I will say
told me.
for the Ghost Camp, I personally liked Prequel. I thought that was the
I better
best
shut
one.
my mouth, or I'm gonna get more phone calls from New York City.
Right.
Right, JB?
Mr. Chavez.
Oh, I know.
Mr.
Robert
Chavez.
Chavez.
Oh, this is
You're
Tobias
saying
Forge.
I sold my soul to the devil. I could tell you like dozens of people in the music industry who sold their soul to the devil. Nikki Sixx is one of them.
Name one.
Nikki Sixx.
Edward
bro.
James Olmos. I see you.
Oh my God. Edward James almost. You want me to hear? I've already told you guys a lot of stories tonight.
One more story,
You
Rob.
want to hear my Edward James almost story?
Let's do it.
Dude, you have an Edward James almost as legendary.
I have an Edward James almost story. True fucking story. I have a picture. And when I run across it, I'm going to send it to you.
Show me.
I used to work for the College Board many years ago. College Board is the company that does SAT and PSAT and AP and
Yeah.
CLEP and all that, right? AccuPlacer and all that. Well, we had a conference one time in Austin. It was in Austin. And Edward James Olmos was going to be the speaker at our conference. So the night prior to his presentation, we had like a dinner. And it was kind of like a social. People were there drinking, and there was snacks and foods. And of course, Edward James Olmos shows up, and everybody gathers around him, you know, hey, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah.
Kids.
You know, yeah, he's shaking hands, he's taking pictures. I took a picture with him.
Of course.
And then about an hour or two later, my boss comes up to me and says, Rob, you're going, when are you going back to San Antonio? I said, well, in the morning, you know, I got to go back home. Would you mind giving Edward a ride with you? He has to, can you drop him off at the area downtown?
You Uber J.
Well, hold on. And my boss is asking me that, and Edward James Olmos is right there. He's right there next to us.
So he's literally
He's
like, hey,
literally
Rob,
right there.
Rob, can you give Edward a ride?
Yeah, can you give him a ride to San Antonio tomorrow when you go home tomorrow? And I said, sure I can. And at that time, I had I had this big fucking truck. It was after the Camaro. I had a big truck. And I said, sure I can. Yeah, I'll give him a ride. And Edward said, yeah. And then get this. Edward comes up to me, he goes,
Can you take me to Tommy?
no, he says, he goes, if you give me a ride tomorrow, I don't want to talk. Don't ask me any questions. I just want to do what I need to do.
A serene ride.
We are literally aliens projecting.
Ex-
I was picturing him just in the front seat, just staring
Dude.
and not saying a damn thing.
Dude, he was a total dick.
Fuck you, Edward James Olmos.
Exactly. Fuck you, Edward James Olmos. Fucking total. And I thought he was. And then I thought he was gonna be like, oh, cool, like, oh, Rob, my Chicano brother, yeah, from San Antonio.
Don't look at me, little Rob.
Yeah, like don't talk to me. Don't ask me questions. Just give me a ride and drop me off.
Can the editor put a gif of when he's getting stabbed in fucking American Me?
Edward James almost
Get,
just falling.
yeah, just getting stabbed and getting thrown off in
I hope I
American
run across that picture before I edit this interview. I'm going to put it in this interview. Seriously, bro. And I remember I was just like this, like, what a dick. I was thinking that in my mind. Anyway, to make a long story short,
I'm just happy
I
that
don't-
Edward
I don't-
James almost in the interview.
I don't know if you like saw the look on my face or what, but later on in the morning they said, "Oh, Rob, don't worry, Edward got another ride to San Antonio. He did not ride with me."
Dude, I feel like he just walked
But
off into
that's
the
a true
desert.
story, bro.
I was just gonna imagine y'all stopping at Buc-ee's and he just like take off or something like.
I would have left his ass there. I think that dude, and at that time that was like before Uber and Lyft and shit. he would have been fucked.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, crazy.
This is an incredible detour. I'm so thankful for that. Oh my God.
That's what makes our interviews great, bro. You'll never have an interview like this.
Edward James Olmos, though.
I'm literally.
How did he come up?
I have no idea how he came up.
You brought him up.
He's a
Bro.
specter. He's possessing this interview.
Anyway, true story. Okay.
Pop funk.
I
A
wish
pop
they did.
Funko of Edward James almost.
I wish they had a pop of him from the American Me. Fucking American
Just
Me
stabbed.
pop.
Just all the stab wounds.
Speaking of pops, you didn't all the shit you've seen in my room tonight, but you didn't see this. The Rob's MetalWorks pop.
Oh my God. Look at that with the beer and the mic. Incredible.
Julie got it for me.
It's right next to Dan.
Look at that big beer. Why does he have to have a big beer?
You've seen these interviews.
Anyway, guys.
A bucket.
As you know, it's hard to believe too that we are already in the middle of 2025. I don't know, but for me, it seems like this year has just like flown by. It's like so scary.
No, I feel after 25, after January happens, it's like it's already Christmas, like essentially.
Oh yeah, just
crazy.
flies.
And it's gonna go faster for you too, my friend. Once that little one comes along.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, it's gonna go faster too once I go to the doctor. We talked before the interview, and me and Mark are convinced we have diabetes now.
Oh,
so
God.
so once we get the
They've
blood
only
test,
pissed like 20 times each since they've been here.
yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some metformin before you leave.
Do you have any?
I'll sell you an old Zimbic shot for $50.
I got it.
Use the restroom.
Oh man, guys, you know, I'm not kidding. I'm a huge fan of Perfect Blue and Liquid Bones. Great songs, and I think you guys are at a point now where like you're at the pinnacle or reaching the pinnacle of what you guys do. I saw a promo on your Facebook that kind of hinted at upcoming new music coming up this year. So share a little bit about that.
Should I just drop everything at this point?
Drop it,
All
bro.
right. So we do have 2 more singles coming out in 2025. We're dropping, I believe, one in August or July and one in October. And in the meantime, during the same time we've been dropping these releases, we've been recording other music, and we currently have slated a full-length album to drop in January
Wow.
titled Manifest.
So real quick. So will Perfect Blue and Liquid Bones and the one from July and October be part of the full length?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
cool.
so Perfect Blue, Liquid Bones, and the 2 upcoming singles are going to be the first 4 songs of the album.
Nice.
We're also going to play around with them. So the versions that you all hear as a singles are not going to be the same on the album.
What
we're
the
gonna
fuck?
we're gonna
Come on.
we're gonna expand on parts.
That's
we're
great.
gonna change things up.
I think that's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Thanks for waiting, y'all.
I think that's great. That's a great idea.
I mean, and honestly, we really
Like
want
different mixes.
So like since now I guess like the mindset's a little different. So every bit y'all support of us goes directly to the record because the record won't be me. We're gonna try hopefully to give it to either Greg, which would be phenomenal, or Rob Beltran once again coming through. But
So
yeah,
you guys
just
will do the recording and then send it to Beltran to engineer it and mix it.
potentially, or I mean, and we're still up in the air. I mean, if everyone's happy enough with what we've been doing, I mean, I can do the record, but especially for the reimagining, like I want to give the fans everything that they would want. So it's like, hey, like
Mark, as much as I love you, Mark, I would say this.
I have diabetes.
No. I've said that already while you were in the restroom. I would say this, and you know, take it for what it is, because I'm not a musician, but I think sometimes as an artist, when you work on your own music for so long, you just become too close to the painting. And it's always good to have that third party take a look at it and give you that critical kind of analysis to help tweak things. Because sometimes I think you get too close and you might not see certain things, or be biased towards certain things.
We call that being precious. So like even if it's in a demo form, be like,
Yeah.
I really like that one little part. And like, mind you, the 95% of normal music listeners probably do not give one shit.
Of course not.
Like,
Of course not.
Not one. But we'll fight for weeks on little shit.
Yeah.
And but it's beautiful because we never had that up until now.
Yeah.
Now we can be like, we'll take weeks. We'll figure this out.
Of course.
And we'll make it to where we're happy full way through.
But I'm glad that you have a strategic plan. Like say, hey, like we're July, October, January.
I mean, it puts
We have
us
a
in
plan.
check.
We have a plan and a deadline. Yeah, that's great. And you have to have that in order to kind of fuel the work ethic to get it done. Now, guys, and Raul, this might be your question, and I apologize because I have it. You see me scribbling here, and I was totally remiss not to ask about the lyrical themes for Perfect Blue and Liquid Bones. So you don't have to give me like specifics on each track, but if there was a point of reference for the lyrical themes of these songs, what would you say they are?
Well, I'll kind of give you like overarching because the whole album kind of has a certain
talk about
theme,
the
and it's
record.
all So the name of the album is Manifest, and it's kind of a play off of manifesting what you want in your life, but then also in some way, even though this word has a negative connotation, like a manifesto. Like all of my thoughts on different aspects of life. And I would say that Perfect Blue is my view on the current digital era, and most specifically like the personas that we all put out on social media. Like everybody puts their best face forward and is just pretending to be something that they're not, and everybody takes that as reality. Misinformation, we've all heard it.
Right.
So it's just kind of coming to grips with like, who am I in this digital world, and like, when did I separate from who I truly was?
That's so cool that you say that, the way that you articulated that. Who am I in this digital world? Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Roll.
Well,
That's deep, bro. I mean, it's really real. I think that's very real.
I will also add, just because I like adding my own nerdy kind of thing, and I think you'll appreciate it, seeing as like your room has like a ton of collectibles. You obviously have a lot of hobbies. Anybody who wants to like get a glimpse of kind of the inspiration for the lyrical content and stuff, you could check out the horror anime movie Perfect Blue, and it talks exactly about that. You can kind of see the train of that, of like you losing yourself to a persona and your life just falling apart because you're trying to fit this mold that never existed. So
Yeah. Let me ask you something with regards to marketing. Like I mentioned earlier, like I'm old school, so it's important for me to have something in my hand. How do you feel about creating tangible music for people, like a CD or records now that LPs have become popular again? Of course, that's expensive. It costs money. Rather than just do it digitally, how do you feel about that? Will there? I guess at the heart of my question is that will there be tangible stuff for Manifest?
I would say, yeah, definitely for the singles, probably not. But for the record, I think we definitely want to get physical media there, especially, at least for
Right.
me being a designer, and I've looked up certain vendors, especially in Austin. I love records, and especially what the cool stuff you could do with different colors and just different vibes for vinyl records. It's just, I think that's something to come.
If you guys do a vinyl, I want one.
We'll sign one, especially
I want
for
one,
you.
and You saw my record player downstairs, so you know I throw down vinyl.
I'll actually see if we can get a variant print, one-time variant print for the
What?
Rob's MetalWorks
No
print.
way!
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Raul, I'm not gonna forget that.
Future
It's
Raul.
on tape. It's on tape.
Yeah, future Raul, you wrote this.
Yeah.
You wrote this check. You gotta cash it.
Yeah. And guys, our program is watched by people all over the country and all over the world. So I hope to share your magic with all these people. And I know that many of these people will be picking up your music. And, our program is shared primarily through Facebook, like these full interviews through Facebook and YouTube. So what is your approach with social media? How do you approach it? How important is it to you? What do you do to facilitate promoting the band through that avenue?
You can ask.
All right, I'll give a short answer, and everybody's gonna be like, "You fucking idiot." Okay, so I manage the socials, I create the graphics, I schedule things. I'm the only person who doesn't have social media. I haven't had social media for 8 years, so I don't know how to manage it, and I'm the only one managing our socials.
I said, Raul,
Isn't that ironic, though?
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, I mean, like, I be not trying to get Raul back in, but I send tons of media to Rara. I try to do it every morning. Every morning, just to get a good laugh, get the juices going, brotherly love, and he stands strong. He takes care of business, and and honestly, the socials are confusing.
It definitely is something that
changing and everything.
that has obviously become important in the 2000s. Since the beginning of the 2000s, I feel social media became so important. Even for my program, I feel that if I'm not posting, then I'm not engaging, and if I'm not engaging, then my people are not going to be interested in Rob's. Luckily for me, though, because of our longevity, especially on Throwback Thursday or Flashback Fridays, I have 29 years of history to fucking
Go in the archives.
to appeal upon. But still, my goal is always to provide new and exciting content, part of which has been our interviews. But, now, we're doing reels, and I'm doing, like I said, my Mas Metal monologue and stuff like that. It's become a whole new kind of component of what we all do in the music industry to stay relevant. And I've seen, and this is the important thing, I've seen bands that are really good at it, but this is the difference. When you talk about quantity, so like say, oh yeah, we post, 50 times a week or, 50 times a month. We post 50 times a month too. But this is the thing. I've seen some bands who will just, because they don't have anything to post about, will just post themselves making breakfast, or something silly.
Do you remember when some band pages were just turning into meme pages?
Yeah, it's just like a meme.
Yeah.
I don't like to see bands become memes. It's like, if you don't have anything relevant to post about your band, like twice a week or 3 times a week, then, do something to create relevant content. Like, I never post silly stuff about Rob's, like about what me and my crew are doing. I'm not posting videos of us smoking bowls of weed. I'm not posting videos of us, barbecuing in the back and talking bad about bands.
Yeah. Which we don't do here. But
I'm just kidding, people. Just kidding.
That's honestly really good that you don't do that, because there are so many people, like I'm saying, I haven't been on social medias in 8 years for myself, but I see our feed from MIBG's profile, and it's just it's like an AI image generated wasteland, and then so much just kind of filler content, and if everybody's posting filler, it just kind of becomes a mess. And like, I know some people would probably be like, well, you need to post more because sometimes we don't post for a week or whatnot, but we're just of that exact mindset. Like, if we don't have anything to say, we're not going to say it. We're not going to try to reskin the same thing you saw last week so you can like this post again. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, being inauthentic to the way we think about it.
Or like, or just like the lack of like smart creativity, like kind of like, this might not make sense, but like how you and Raura earlier were like, oh, we got the alien brain, like we're on the same wavelength. It's just like, you can tap into that pseudo with everybody. You can think of something like, I feel like the Hispanic community is like a little bit bigger and be like, oh yeah, this. And then like a ton of images come up and you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like that reminds me of childhood. Like you can expand on that. You can just build your clientele, your fan base, whatever the market is, with just stuff that resonates with you. And if, you get like-minded people to follow you, hey, that's all you need.
Yeah. But I think what's happening in society is that it's just like junk food, right? Social media is just like junk food.
Dopamine.
Julie, like, she'll wake up in the middle of the night
The hard drive.
and I see she's like this.
It's literally an addiction.
And I said, like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm looking at TikTok. I'm like, okay, great. And she's like this. I go into the restroom and she's sitting on the pot and she's doing this. There's so many people who they just consume social media like junk food, like JB just said. It's crazy. And I think people who follow bands just to like be just as their Cheetos, those people, I'm not saying they're irrelevant, but
It's like fair weather.
they're fair weather. Yeah, they're not like the real fans.
When they're up, they're up. When they're down, you're not gonna check them out.
Don't worry.
I will also add on to your comment about like social media being like junk food and whatnot, because I realized I half answered a question of yours earlier about lyrical content, but for Liquid Bones, it kind of addresses that as well. Just kind of like, that's more of like, not like a political statement, but it's more like how I just get annoyed like with how divisive everything is, and it's more so fed through social media. Like, you go on Facebook, you would think the world is literally on fire outside. Everybody hates everybody. Your neighbors suck. Your vet sucks. The bagger at HEB sucks because they voted for an old man or an orange man, or who gives a shit? Oh my God, the gluten. Don't eat the gluten. The fucking
you guys are getting crawling up to my age, and let me tell you something.
I'm just bitter as fuck, dude.
As you get older. And I swear to God, you're going to remember me one day. As you get older, you become more reclusive. It's like, I don't need to go out all the time. Yeah. I prefer just to be in my comfort zone and do my thing with my partner or my kids, or I don't need to go out. I can. What if I want to drink or drug? I'm going to do it in my house. I don't need to go out.
Yep.
And no, it's not that. It's not that. I got bukus of money to do whatever I want to do.
You heard it here.
But I just don't want to deal with the people, and also it's become a little scary is the uncertainty. Like you when you go out, like
Dude, you remember when like South by Southwest had that dude drive through that crowd?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what started the downhill of everything. Because then everything was like, after that was like, dude, like nowhere is safe. Like you can't go to 6th Street. You can't go to school. You can't do nothing. Like, you literally can't do. Yeah, some dude.
Go to church.
Some dude got capped in Floresville, or not Floresville, Pleasanton or something, right? Yeah, like
Sutherland Springs.
Scary. And think about this though. Think about this. I think that is even multiplied when you're a public figure. You know, Julie always told me, like, be careful because, you know, people may not like what you say, and, you know, people might look for you and try to hurt you or do something to you. I don't think that way, you know. I don't think that way, but there's crazies out there. I always think about Dimebag and, like, you know, what happened to Dimebag.
I personally, I'm with you. I'm like, no one's gonna. What am I gonna say to invoke that? But yeah, I mean the crazier things like Dimebag's prime. That was like early 2000s. That was like he spearheaded that. Unfortunately,
and there's crazies out there, bro.
And people don't even have to necessarily be mad at you. It could be like the parasocial relationship where they feel like they've watched hours of your content and they know you and you like the same music and movies and they're your best friend. And then they stalk you, find you at HEB, and it's like, hey, he didn't look at me. Now I'm going to put a 9 mil or a bullet in his brain. It's like,
like
what
this
the hell?
motherfucker didn't interview me? All right, we'll see what's happening. This motherfucker shot my record down? All right. We'll see what's up. Exactly, bro. Let's talk about video now. You know, in the beginning, in the early days of Rob's, I always called this a video show because we showed videos on our platform back in the Time Warner Cable days. You guys have done 2 visualizer videos for the 2 new tracks. Is there a plan to do a legitimate video, like a real video, with a performance video or a some type of
I think Robert can take that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we get a little bit more of a budget for that, definitely.
I know, right?
And also just kind of outside of finances, just or at least I've always said, since we've talked about videos, that I don't just want to, and this is no hate to anybody who's done this, but like I don't want our video to just be band jams in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to, I mean, I don't know. I would like it to even be a video. I don't know how the
Kinda
guys
like
would feel.
a storyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I would like a video where we're not even in it. It's just like a music video. Like I think of like Tool's Sober music video where it was just like stop motion. We're not gonna do that because it's expensive as hell. But like just something with a storyline or that has something to say, similar to the social media. Or like, I mean, Liquid Bones. We were planning on doing a live music video kind of thing.
Oh, I thought that. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, that for that song, since it's a little thrashier, a little punky, or a little semi-punk, hip-hop punk, it would have fit the vibe. So, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, and then once again, all this is 1,000% attributed by y'all. So if y'all would like to have cool new dubs of songs or music videos or anything, we literally do not take not even 1 penny for ourselves. Everything we accumulate is for you. So if you want to support and you want to see some new cool stuff, just know that you're not paying for my Matt Foreman or anything like that. Like, you're literally attributing to new content for yourselves.
Sweet. I'd love to see a legitimate video.
Can I actually ask you what type of videos do you like? Because I've seen kind of with certain videos or bands that I've seen release music videos, it's kind of like, why waste your time with this? Some people don't like music videos, some people do. What is your opinion on that?
I think I don't care whether people like videos or not. I think they're an important medium to get the music across. There's a lot of people who are visual learners who are attracted to the visual, and with good-looking guys like you, come on, you're
This man.
you're gonna win, bro. You're gonna win. So. I like to see videos that are both performance mixed with a storyline.
Yeah.
A mixture.
Yeah, I actually was going to ask that. So is it something that you like just seeing the band? Well, you just answered it, but just seeing the band jam, or like I want to experience something. I want to watch it like a mini movie or something.
I think it's a mixture is good because you get like with the storyline, you get the lyrical theme of the record. And then you're able to connect with the band by saying, oh, these guys throw down, they're heavy. Yeah, I like them.
So funny story, because I feel like Neil Worth kind of hits some of those boxes. It has like the storyline as well as like some band shots.
Sure.
We waited an extra like 2 months on that video for the alien hand. That's like literally at the end, and it's just grabbing the girl versus or the actor on the arm, and it's just like, why did we wait this long?
I would say do it, man. Do it.
And then a thing for me too, seeing as I like kind of put together like the visual identity and the graphics for the band and whatnot, it's kind of the question for me is that like we take our music seriously, but we are like goofy dudes. So it's kind of like what's the route to go? Like serious where we look like we're like tryhards, or kind of like inject some of our humor and make it tongue in cheek. It's like a difficult balance because I don't want it to be like, oh, look at these dudes, they think that they're fucking cool with their black t-shirts.
Hardcore brother, like.
Yeah, exactly. But then also just like not like they're a joke. So it's something about like kind of like how people say like I'm waiting for the right script. It's like we're waiting for like a good idea to hit us to be like that.
I to respond to that, I think that's a fine line that you have to maneuver. And I'm going to share this, and I might edit this out. I always say I might edit this out because I tell JB, edit that out when I said that. But this is the thing. Trivium is one of my favorite bands. And this past year, I've noticed that as they work on their social media presence, that they've gotten into this thing where they're posting a lot of silly stuff. Like they're doing like acting, like oh, let's pretend we're gonna go into this door and interrupt what's going on behind this door. It's like they're acting, and I don't know. It's like I don't like it.
Yeah, it's getting to like sketch comedy for you.
Exactly. Great way to phrase that. It's a sketch comedy, and I don't like it. And you know why I don't like it? Because a band like Trivium doesn't have to do that. They're so great and grand, and they have such a great catalog, and they could do so many other things with their social media videos than sketch comedy.
Like
I don't get it.
I have two things to say that. So like I feel like Trivium is pretty much reaching legacy kind of status. So I feel like they're fresh to like bro, you're Trivium. Why are you doing that kind of vibe?
That's what I'm saying.
But like, I mean, Matt Heafy's kind of everywhere in terms of social. Like he promotes himself. He's got to pay the bills. He's doing a lot of stuff. So like, I feel like that mixed with like, you want a music video from a band such as Trivium. There's probably 100 music videos a day of that exact format.
Sure.
Almost coming out. So I feel like if you should sell yourself at that point, and especially if they're legacy, it'd be like, hey, I love those goofy dudes.
And that's a scary thing, though. This is the scary thing. If you put something on social media and you're silly and stupid, it's forever.
Yep.
It's forever.
And then there's also the aspect of like social media just diminishing attention spans. So I think some of them probably like if like they make wacky music videos or something, it's probably just for the factor of just like keeping people entertained as opposed to like just jamming in a warehouse with fire or something.
It is, and that's what's happening in the market. That's what bands or musicians feel. We have to continue to be. We have to continue to release some things via social media. We don't have anything pertinent, so let's just do a sketch.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna revolutionize this
Do
right
it.
now. We are gonna release a music video for every song on our album, but we're gonna cut it into 10-second clips, and we're gonna put them on our stories.
Yeah.
And if anybody does it before me, I'm suing you.
And you got to put them all together.
Yes, you have to put them all together
To watch the video.
Yep, and that's it. It's only on lives, and if you miss it, it's gone forever. It'll never be on YouTube. That's it. Exclusive. We will sue you.
Someone in New York is going to take your idea, bro,
I,
and run with
You
it.
can't tell these boys.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mr. Chavez.
That's what it was. Robert Chavez. It wasn't Chavez. It was Chavez.
Just the raspy.
Robert. Dude, that sounds like that SpongeBob going, Robert Chavez.
What do you do?
Oh, my God.
Take it down, Robert.
People. My mind is dangerous. Watch out. We talked about this downstairs. The comeback show for Memories was supposed to be in April last month with Darkness Divided in Corpus. Why didn't that happen?
Cut the feed. No, I was just joking.
Cut the feed.
You guys had to pull out of that show. I think a lot of people were anticipating seeing your return, your official return to the stage. Why didn't that happen?
It definitely wasn't an easy choice for us to make. We had plans, obviously, talking about the.
Deliberated to the very end.
Yeah, we definitely deliberated about it. Talking about the Liquid Bones live music video, we had planned with a videographer to be out there, shoot photos and whatnot. Long story short, venue changed. We heard that there was probably going to be possibility of it changing to a house party, possibly other stuff, and we were just it didn't feel right to us.
Fuck no.
We've talked to the promoter. We're still on good terms with him. We hope to go down to Corpus very soon. It's one of our favorite.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we will be in Corpus.
I
It's
will
our
say
favorite
this: you
market.
guys are nice guys. Because if that promoter would have said to me, "Oh, let's do a house show," I would have said, "Man, I'm deleting your fucking phone number, bro."
It was a hard phone call, but I mean, nothing but love. We get it.
I know.
100%. Like, I mean, honestly, back in the Enigma Infinite days, we might have done it, but it's not right for the people who wanted to come out to pay good money to watch the show.
Right.
We wanted to give the show that was paid for.
I think that would have been
Excited.
dude. That would have been a killer show. You guys in fucking Darkness.
And we're hoping to get that on
Fuck.
the books at some point. I think
You guys
for
should
us,
do that in San Antonio.
well, let's do it. Gerard, reach out.
Gerard.
Yeah, I think before when we were younger, it was definitely like any show that came our way, we'll play it. I think now it's more of a mindset that if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
Yep.
you guys are at that stage already where you shouldn't be afraid to say hell no. We're not doing, and to walk away from things that don't meet your standards.
And I'll say this because this really does hit the core of Memories. Like, we really did wait till the 11th hour. I mean, mind you, we have till the 11th hour with all the changes, but we gave it our best shot. Like, we wanted to, it just was not right.
Yeah.
20
If it doesn't
bucks.
feel right, don't do it. At your tenure, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, no.
You don't need to do it.
We will come back. We want to give you your money's worth. We want to make sure, like, hey, you got a babysitter, you paid the $20 a head, or whatever. I mean, it was $20 a head day of show. Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, like,
Jeez.
we're not gonna give you a house show for $20.
Fuck no.
We're not gonna do that.
Fuck no.
That it's outrageous. And plus, we have so many layers in our music. It wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah.
It just
yeah.
really would.
I think you again. I think you guys made the right choice.
got too many bills. We got diabetes
Yeah.
now. You know,
Yeah.
we've got a.
Apparent long fucking non-treated diabetes.
You guys started in Alice, and it seems like Corpus for bands from Alice is an important market.
Most definitely.
Most definitely, right? So, it doesn't surprise me that the comeback show was going to be in Corpus. Mark, you told me downstairs that Corpus is an important market for us, a big market for us, and I have this thing in my mind where like San Antonio is heaven, and now that you guys reside in San Antonio, how important is it for you guys to play markets outside of San Antonio?
Like, I attribute it, or at least Corpus, to like Selena. Like, we're not San Antonio enough to be San Antonio, and we're not Corpus enough to be Corpus. But Corpus,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I wouldn't trade it. Personally, I've been a San Antonio native at definitively half my life as of this point. But Corpus is our second home. Alice is a little shot town of 20,000 people, more than likely, probably less. And but music is paramount in Alice. You have the Tejano Hall of Fame in Alice. My grandpa's in there. Like we have us.
Did you know that?
We've had Shattered Sun. We've had a ton of people. And even if you're going school wise, Alice is major with the band.
Wow.
So it's like it makes sense that stuff comes out, but where can we play? And I honestly feel like Alice, it needs it. I root for Shattered Sun every single time because they're representing our home. So
I love it's astounding to me how so many great metal musicians have come out of Alice.
it's like the Swedish. Like, instead of cold, we got the hot, and there ain't shit to do but be hot. And sweat.
But jam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the only venue that we had in Alice,
Downtown Riot?
yeah, it was called Downtown Riot, and it closed down probably the second year that we were a band, and we were at that point juniors in high school, and we started renting out the VFW patio and different other places to just host shows. We brought Upon a Burning Body, before they got signed to Sumerian to play,
Wow,
and that's
cool.
where we
Secrecy?
sworn to
Cool,
secrecy.
cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of San Antonio, Houston, Dallas bands, and we just brought them through. And
We were our own promoters. Like, not only to, put us on shows, but it was like, hey, like, we want to bring class
Yeah.
to Alice. We want to bring you something. And
Yeah.
what was cool with Alice was, like, you could have Immortal Guardian, Memories and Broken Glass, Shattered Sun, Upon a Burning Body on the same bill, and it not be weird.
Yeah.
San Antonio is like, oh, if you're not a beatdown band, you're weird.
Yeah, I was going to say that for San Antonio, like, I loved playing San Antonio, but I always felt like we were kind of like you mentioned with the genres, like, just didn't quite fit.
Right.
Like the crowd wasn't there for the type of music we play. Like, obviously, like, people, when we played like the heavier parts, it was like going off. It's awesome. And then the kind of more weird parts, like, we lose them. But in Corpus, it just seemed like they were more open to that, at least for us back in the day.
I think Corpus has a great metal scene.
Mm-hmm.
In the early days of Rob's, I used to go to Corpus to interview bands, believe it or not. I interviewed Amon Amarth there in 2002.
I love it. Concrete?
In 2000, yeah.
Fuck
Concrete
yeah.
Amphitheater,
Hell yeah.
2002, bro. When Amon Amarth was nobody, there were nothing. Nobody knew about them. I interviewed their singer on the bus,
Dude,
2002.
Corpus was the spot, and
Give him the mic, bro. So I can-
bringing Trivium back. So, like, weird thing for us, we played. I think the last time Slipknot played in Corpus with Paul Gray on top, which is Cherry. But so we played the Slipknot after party at the House of
Wow,
Rock.
cool.
So House of Rock got us tickets. We were able to go in, promote the show, and just have a good old time. But Trivium, it was Trivium that opened, and then Coheed in Cambria.
Oh no.
and then Slipknot.
JB's favorite band.
And it was wild. I mean, mind you, I love Coheed. Coheed's
Oh,
cool.
man.
Coheed's cool.
I hate that guy's hair.
Claudio, bro, I wish I had that hair.
I'm sure you do. You're bald.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys. So, any shows coming up that we should know about at this point?
Yeah, we have nothing on the books right now. We're
Okay.
just focused on finishing up the album, but for right now, nothing on the books.
Great. Gentlemen, as we end out, any last words? Anything you want to share with the people around the world who will watch this interview?
I want to do a shout out personally. There's a certain fan that is always sharing all of our stuff and like 40, 50 times comments, likes every post. We want to do a shout out to Crystal Cano, Texas Metal Militia. Thank you. You're awesome. We need to connect, send you some merch, do something.
Wow.
We appreciate that.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, she has shared many of my posts about the band.
Send us your address, please. Crystal Cano.
For merch, not for weird reasons.
Yeah.
Crystal, at least you're going to get a shirt. I didn't get one tonight, but I did get this CD.
I would say never give up on what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Memories and Broken Glass made me happy at 16 years old, and I'm happy as shit as 35-year-old man with a 5-year-old child and diabetes diagnosed today. Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. Stay with your
Passion.
Stay with your passion. Stay with your buddies. Stay with your closest. Don't listen to your mom.
Yeah.
And do it.
Yeah. Don't listen to your mom. My mom, you always used to tell me, like, are you still doing that metal show?
You're talking to those people.
Like, mijo, stop that. Aren't you going to grow out of that?
Your mom doesn't know anything.
My mom used to-
mijo. They got long
Exactly.
hair and
Like,
nambe.
mijo, es el diablo.
Stop hanging out with them. They're doing drugs.
What the
Never
hell?
go to heaven talking to those people, mijo.
I know.
I'm going to pray for you.
I'll light a candle, mijo.
I'm going to pray a rosary for you, mijo.
Don't listen to them.
That's malo.
You'll still go to heaven,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't, I believe in aliens now.
Hey,
I mean, I do now.
We're going to talk all about that after we finish recording while we smoke some pot.
yes.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
guys
you
are
very
awesome.
much, sir.
What a
Bye,
great
everybody.
fucking interview. What a great fucking interview. What great chemistry. What great brotherhood. These are the types of interviews that I fucking love. And my people are telling me like we're on 2 hours already.
Like
Is that insane?
We're on 2 hours.
2 hours.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having
Time
fun.
flies when you're talking shit.
Like and subscribe if you like it.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. What a great interview, and it will live on forever.
The best interview.
The best.
What a patriot.
At the end of every year, seriously, at the end of every year, like in December, I do my top 5 favorite interviews of the year. I think you guys are gonna make it.
Oh, look out for
I
it.
think you guys might make it.
Call us. Hey, bring back the top 5s for a big interview. Big 5 interview.
Oh, God.
Big 5. That'd be
God.
sick.
I don't think JB could handle it.
Turn my camera, please.
Everyone out there, what a wonderful evening that you have been able to partake in. Remember, the brand new singles from the band called Perfect Blue and Liquid Bones are out right now. The brand new full-length record Manifest will drop in January. You saw the band Memories and Broken Glass right here on Rob's MetalWorks.
When did I separate?